The alarms
What
were
are you?
already screaming when I found it deep
Whoa,
beneath
you're
the
alive!
steel ribs
This
of
can't
the
be
orbital
real.
war station, where the lights flickered like dying stars and the air tasted of burnt circuits and fey. The base was called Horizon Bastion, and it had been humanity's proudest fortress at the edge of uncharted space until something tore through from the void and left entire sectors cold and silent. I was not supposed to be in Research Sector 12, but command had collapsed and the evacuation ships were gone. And when survival becomes the only order left, a soldier starts listening to instinct instead of rank. The corridor doors were twisted open like peeled metal fruit, and the gravity plate sparked under my boots as I moved past shattered observation glass that once looked out into the endless black. Somewhere far above the hull groaned under impact as unknown hostiles struck again, and dust drifted down in slow motion through red emergency light. I thought I was alone until I heard a sound that did not belong to war. It was small and sharp and metallic and alive. Not a machine malfunction. Not a weapon discharge. A cry. I followed it past a collapsed drone rack in a laboratory split in half where containment tanks had ruptured and strange fluids froze in zero-pressure crystals across the floor. The cry came again, weak and now echoing through a cracked security door half buried in debris. I forced it open with my shoulder, ignoring the pain, and stepped into a chamber that still had power. In the center of the room sat a shattered incubation cradle built from alloys I had never seen woven together like liquid silver. And inside the broken frame something moved. It was no larger than a medium-sized dog, yet it radiated presence like a reactor core. Its body was forged from articulated plates of polished chrome and dark titanium scales overlapping with organic precision. Its wings were folded tight against its sides formed from razor-thin lattice membranes that shimmered with faint internal light. Its eyes opened when I stepped closer. They burned blue, not glowing like LEDs, burning like newborn stars. It tried to lift its head and failed, and the cry came again, sharper this time, edged with confusion. That was when I saw the restraints. Magnetic shackles designed for containment of high-energy entities. Someone had chained a baby. Not just any baby. A dragon. But this was no creature of fire and myth. This was engineered, or born in a forge beyond human science. Its chest cavity pulsed faintly, and between the armor plates I saw veins of energy moving like liquid lightning. There were data consoles around the chamber, some still flickering, and I forced one online with a manual override. Project designation Red Draconis Prime. Origin unknown. Recovered from debris field near collapsed star cluster. Energy output classified. Containment priority absolute. The base shook violently, and ceiling panels fell as another impact struck. The little dragon flinched, and sparks leapt from its body in reflex. Instinct told me to leave. Command protocol told me to seal the chamber and report. But Command was dead, and I was still human. I knelt beside it, slowly removing my helmet so it could see my face. It stared at me with that burning blue gaze, and I felt something impossible. Recognition. It reached forward weakly, and one metallic claw touched my armored glove. There was a surge, not an attack, a pulse. My visor flickered with cascading symbols that were not from any language on Earth. The dragon shuddered, and the restraint sparked violently, reacting to the energy exchange. I swore under my breath and drew my plasma cutter. If someone had chained it here to study or weaponize it, they were not here anymore. And I was done taking orders from ghosts. The first shackle split under the cutter beam, and the dragon let out a sharper cry, not of pain but relief. The second restraint required brute force, and I pried it apart with everything my enhanced suit could output. When the final magnetic clamp fell away, the baby dragon collapsed forward against my chest plating. Its body was warm, too warm, like holding a living reactor. The consoles around us began flashing warnings. Energy spike detected. Bond formation initiated. I did not understand what that meant until the dragon pressed its forehead against my armor, and a ring of light spread outward from us in a perfect expanding sphere. Every screen in the chamber went dark. Every alarm in the base stopped. For one single suspended heartbeat, the entire war station fell silent. Then power surged back stronger than before. But different. Calibrated. Aligned. My suit diagnostics exploded with new readings and unknown subroutines. The dragon lifted its head now stronger, and the blue fire in its eyes deepened. Somewhere above us, something massive breached a hull, and I heard the screams of structural collapse. I picked the dragon up fully, now cradling the metallic creature against my chest. Its wings twitched and expanded, slightly scattering sparks like embers in vacuum. "You are not staying here," I muttered as I sealed my helmet again. The dragon made a low metallic trill and wrapped its tail around my arm. The corridor outside no longer felt abandoned. It felt watched, but not by enemies, by the station itself. Doors that had been jammed slid open as I approached. Emergency bulkheads lifted. Navigation paths illuminated ahead of me like guiding stars. The base was responding. To it, or to us. I did not have time to question it, because the first hostile broke through the smoke at the end of the hallway. It was tall and angular, all jagged limbs and shifting armor plates with a core of dark energy pulsing where a heart should be. The creature emitted a shriek that vibrated the metal floor. I raised my rifle and fired. The round struck but barely slowed it. It moved faster than physics should allow, closing distance in seconds. And then the dragon moved. Still cradled in my arm, it opened its mouth and unleashed not flame but a concentrated beam of white-blue energy. The beam struck the creature mid-charge and disintegrated it into vaporized fragments that scattered like ash. The dragon trembled afterward as if surprised by its own power. I stared at the space where the enemy had been, then at the small metallic being in my arms. "Okay," I said quietly. "Guess we are doing this together." The base shook again, but now the tremor felt less like collapse and more like awakening. Deep within the hull, ancient systems powered on systems even command likely did not know existed. And somewhere beyond the breach walls a void waited. But I was no longer alone in it. The metallic baby dragon shifted in my grasp and looked up at me. And for the first time since the invasion began, I smiled.